All right. What's in store for precious metals? Well, first we have the fact that nearly 750,000 silver eagles and 20,000 gold eagles sold in the first 3 business days of December 2012. These dips that the powers that be are slamming, they're slamming the prices down so that there's what we call dips. People have a ferocious appetite, apparently, when they slam the price down. The U.S. Mint has updated its December sales total, and not surprisingly, both gold and silver sales are extremely strong, with 750,000 silver eagles and 19,500 ounces of gold eagles sold through the first 3 business days of December. This compares to 2.009 million silver eagles and 65,500 eagles sold for the entire month of December in 2011. So the numbers are higher, but that was the entire month of December 2011. These numbers are the first 3 freaking days, business days at least, of December, for God's sakes. Wow. And also, gold and silver back, starting to move back up again after the little raid. We have here, this is all according to Silver Doctors, but we can confirm that SD Bullion, which is his deal, was in fact approached Wednesday by a UK hedge fund manager seeking the acquisition of 20 metric tons of gold in good delivery bar form, which has been physically tested for purity above 0.9995 within the past 5 years. And he says the fact that a London fund manager has resorted to contacting a U.S., which is his place, but a U.S. retail bullion dealer in an attempt to fill a 20-ton order speaks volumes to the availability of physical gold, or lack thereof, for delivery in London and the extreme tightness in the physical market. He says, got physical or got fizz? Exactly. These if you don't have a strong stomach, or in other words, don't be too emotional when you see these price swings and it goes up and then bam, they slam it again, it starts to creep up and they slam it again. It's obviously blatant manipulation. I'm reading again today, again thanks to Silver Doctors. CFTC files charges against 12 firms for selling phantom paper, gold and silver that never existed, just paper. And he says, that's funny, it sounds remarkably like the COMEX. But it's against the law when it says, where did it say that? Basically, it has to go through a regulated and approved, clearinghouse or whatever. This was neither, so they're going to jail. But it claims, plain and simple, that this whole thing, them charging them, they point out that it was all paper. They never went out and bought a single physical ounce of silver or gold, etc. This is the same damn thing with the SLV, the COMEX, any kind of bullion thing that the elite have. So SLV, COMEX, LBMA, right? And then they lease gold and silver from places that have it, such as banks that are supposed to be securely storing it for a customer in a, quote, allocated account. We've already discussed this before. And the people are coming in to find their gold is gone in an allocated account, which they were told, you're the only one that has a key to it. Well, that's funny. How'd you get to my box if you're the only one that has a key? And those who were lucky enough to get their gold when they went to their account, their bank or facility, wherever this is at, which there's multiple places, find that the serial numbers on the gold bars are wrong, completely different than their records. When I brought you in, I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, such and such. Here's the serial numbers. You checked off. Everything's good. I come back, all different serial numbers. What does that mean? That means they took your gold, leased it out for a handsome return on investment, interest rate. So not only are you paying, any bozo out there, any complete moron bozo that is storing their gold off-site, off of your property, at a place just like this. Not only are they charging you for this, quote, security service that they're providing you to keep your gold in their secure facility, cost you every month. Not only are they charging you, you moron, I'm about to say mozo. That's like moron and bozo combined. You mozo. They're charging you, and then they're taking it out of your damn box, the safe deposit box, whatever they can actually consider it over there, lending it out to the banksters and friends. And then when the banksters put the fires out, they send gold back to them and say, here it is, all right, safe and sound, and here's your fee, money for letting us borrow that gold. And thus far, this has been going on for years. Therefore, no one has any reason to think that there'll be any kind of problems. Oh, there's going to be some problems. And if you think the powers that be, the elite, are going to make sure they return that gold that they, leased out, you got another thing coming. Either A, which I've discussed this before, they are going to be returning tungsten-filled bars with a tiny little coating of real gold on the outside to trick the people who have those allocated accounts. It'll probably be too late before they find out. And let's just say the person decides, I'm going to cut into my bar. These have the wrong serial numbers, and I'm going to cut into them. They cut into their bar, and there's tungsten. What actions could they take? Well, they could prove, if this happened and they had different serial number on their bars than what they put in, they could easily prove these serial numbers don't match. Therefore, whatever you guys put back in my box was fake gold. I can sue you for the price of that, what would, of course, cost to replenish that gold. And if multiple lawsuits happen at the same time, or just one big enough to really hurt the company, file bankruptcy. Sorry. Because their argument is going to be, well, hey, we didn't break the law, like steal your gold. We lent it and received gold back. Put it back, and the person that gave it to us gave us the fraudulent bar. You're suing the wrong guy, right? So then you're going to have a lawsuit there, which is going to tie in a lawsuit over here. You're going to have to figure out, do you really want to screw with that, or do you want to feel safe and sound with your gold locally and silver locally? I rest my case. So the CFTC has filed charges against 12 firms, mostly out of Florida, from what I can understand, for $44 million worth of fraud they committed. $44 million of fraud. Again, this is another parade them around, show them that the CFTC, we're going after these guys and we're going to get them and we're for the people. That's because they are not part of the club. Prime example. One other thing, gold and silver. What does the big liar Goldman Sachs have to say? Because remember, Goldman Sachs was the one that told all their clients, give us all your money, we're going to make you a bunch of money. Real estate market is looking fantastic. Give it up. Okay, we got all this money. And while they're shuffling it out as fast as they're telling everyone this is a great investment, they're shoveling it right out to short the market, betting the market's going down while simultaneously telling everybody else the market's going up so they can pull in that money. Great investment. No, only a great investment for Goldman Sachs because they're taking that money, using it for themselves, for the company, to make money for the company, not for you, etc. Having said that, they lied to you to get the money in. Reality struck, proved them wrong. Goldman calls the end of the great gold bullion market. Bullion banks ready to go long, he says. In other words, this is what Jim Sinclair's been saying. They will smash and fight and kick silver and gold down as far as they can. In the days going to come, Jim Sinclair has said this multiple times, the day will come because they're in charge. They know exactly what's happening. They know what numbers are out there in physical and stuff that they claim they have. They know exactly where they're at. You and I can only speculate. So, he said the day will come when these guys ride the wave up. They're going to ride the prices up. So, Goldman's giving the all clear, gold's going to crash. That's what he's saying. Gold's good, it's done. He says Goldman commodity analyst Damian Corvalin is out with a big call. The top for gold is in. The firm says that the primary driver of gold prices is real interest rates, which have been historically low in the U.S., in part thanks to aggressive Fed easing. And that with the economy coming back, That's what he says. The economy coming back. The era is coming to an end. So the economy is coming back while simultaneously we are hearing this complete garbage about a fiscal cliff and the Democrats and Republicans and Obama and the middle class and the upper class and the rich and the taxes. And none of it matters. Except for one thing that they've got inside the hashing out of the details that they've added. One thing matters. Remove the debt ceiling. That's all that the whole thing, the whole dog and pony show is. We're going to pretend like we're fighting and we hate each other and I don't want to move here and you don't want to move and we got to come together. The time's running out. Hurry up. We got days left. Oh my God. And as I said, you watch. They will come to an agreement. They will come to an agreement. Oh, the coast is clear. We did it in the nick of time. We did this for the American people. And what they really did was remove the debt ceiling so that they don't have to vote on it anymore. Remember, it was 9 trillion something when Obama took office. It immediately went to 11, then 12 point something, then 14 point something. Now it's 16.4 or so, which again, we're at the top. We're about to hit it again. We're there, basically. They can't keep voting. We got just unlimited debt ceiling. If you've got an unlimited debt ceiling, does that show signs that your economy is recovering? An increase of taxes and money flowing in your country all of a sudden? That's what a recovery is. So why would Goldman say the recovery's on, the gold price has got to go down, but the true data, because this is just a bozo speaking, right? Bozo speaking. What's his name? Damien Corvalin. Damien as in, like the movies with the crazy devil, Satan kid or whatever. Damien. Yeah, Damien speaking. The devil speaking. And the devil, Damien, is lying to you. Because I can look at the reality and see it for myself. I don't even have to go ask questions. We can look. The economy is not recovering. Telltale sign, they want to remove the debt ceiling. Why would they want to remove the debt ceiling? If A, they're going to hash the details out and the upper class is going to have to pay some more and all this and that. We got some tax revenue over here. You're doing that so that we can pay our bills off, right? I mean, you're doing that so we can essentially lower the debt ceiling. Pay some of that off. Why would you need to get rid of it so you can go up? Obviously, you don't get rid of a debt ceiling to go down. You get rid of it to just go up as high as you can go. As Lindsey Williams said the other day, 2 days ago, whatever it was. We are going to all be in massive amounts of debt. So again, gold prices are set to go up. Silver prices are set to go up. I don't care if they slam it and then it goes up and they slam it. It doesn't matter. They are fighting tooth and nail, as I've said. And I just read yesterday that the volume, I think on the gold and silver markets, trades, volume, both, again, broke records. And the records that were broken were already created this year for volume. There's that much gold and silver moving. Again, this is paper, and that's what's setting the price, as we all know. But the fact that there is record movement should tell you something. Should very well tell you something. So, Silver Doctors are saying, matter of fact, let me go back down to where that was. Let me just click on the article here. Basically, the several year trend line of lows, of where, a slow moving market, a trend of upward growth, whatever, the market, the charts go up and down and this and that, right? But every time it goes down, it goes up higher, goes down, goes up higher, goes down, goes up. In other words, all those down movements, you could draw basically a straight line. And there's one that goes way up, like, oh my God, we should be at $60 silver right now. And then there's another one, in other words, the worst case trend line, we're right in the money with it. So, in other words, $30 silver roughly around that area is the bottom of the bottom according to the long-term trend line. And again, if you're the powers that be, you have to pretend that these market things actually work and you can look at charts and it makes sense because you don't want to fool everybody. You got to make them think there's like this, you can really follow a trend line and figure crap out, which is all nonsense. But it's the worst case scenario, and the worst case scenario says we are right in line with $30-something silver right now, worst case. And as you can see, matter of fact, China, during this last little slamming of gold and silver, China, or did he just say Asia? Maybe in Asia. Gold set to return to run of record next year. Chart of the day. Physical buying of gold bullion has increased on the dip, particularly in Asia, and many are seeing these levels as floor prices or as a floor for prices. The massive consolidation seen in the last 16 months means that gold and silver are now right on their long-term moving averages. See the chart showing 100, 200, and 365 daily moving averages. Gold will revisit its record-breaking form of the past 4 years in 2013 after gains were tempered this year by reduced jewelry demand, they say. Because I can't really show you this chart at the moment. But again, if you look at, as I said, the moving averages, even the worst case scenarios from what I'm looking at, the bottoms of those, moves, the moves up, and then the bottom move up, and the bottom of that particular move, it's right in line with where it's going to go. So 2013 could be the year. And again, I know Lindsey Williams just said 2 days ago, that gold will be around $3,000 ounce sometime closer to the next 4 years. So like 2016 or so. And while that may be the powers that be's intention, I just, in my gut, the stuff I'm reading, I don't see a chance in hell that they'll be able to keep prices where they are while simultaneously putting countries in massive amounts of debt, which they said they're going to do, removing our own debt ceiling. That should be the biggest red flag to any investment firm, hedge fund, anything out there. And the fact that a hedge fund is contacting silver doctors to buy a 10-ton order of gold, as he said, speaks volumes. Why didn't he just go in the UK? If I'm in the US, do you think I'm going to feel real comfortable going out of the country and buying gold somewhere or anything out of the country when I know I have rules, regulations, and law in my own country that may not apply overseas? I would want to do that locally, especially on a multi-million-dollar purchase. Again, 20 tons worth of gold is a big purchase. So, or 10 tons, excuse me. And again, I think in Asia, did he mention how much they just purchased? I don't know if he said so, but they just did it again, while the dip was here. So anybody that thinks gold and silver, they may come down, the market may crash with them, doesn't matter. I'm telling you right now, again, you are out of your mind if you're not stacking gold and silver. Just out of your mind.